Welcome to Sabor Astrology with T and Shay, a podcast for the soul. Today we'll be talking about the current cosmic energies, and I'd love to pass la taza to T for the transits of the week. Welcome, T.
Thank you, Shay. It's so good to be here. Welcome, everybody. Glad to have you on board again, listening in on the Transits Week. First off, I'm going to say that we are both frazzled, and I think it's because of the day that we are taping this, that we're videotaping this, that we are like right before the new year. Energies are really high and really crazy. So we are kind of like anyone who's ever watched the old Abbott and Costello movies, it's like who's on first. Like nobody knows what the other one is doing, but that's just our energy. And we're hoping that it doesn't like leak out into you for this coming year, for this wonderful, wonderful new year. So right now, as we speak, Mercury is still retrograde, right? So maybe this is what's going on. Mercury is still retrograde, but as once you get this podcast, you will be happy to know that Mercury has gone direct on the 1st, right? So happy New Year. Happy Mercury direct. It's going to be fantastic, right? Except that we do know that it's still going to be there for a couple of days. Like give it some time. Still take care, read your contracts, read your forms, read that email before you send it out. Reread it, okay? Make sure that you're not replying to all when you only are meaning to reply to one. So first, Mercury will go direct and we'll all live in peace and harmony again forever and ever. So that's one thing that's going on. The second is that on the 4th of this month, Mars enters Capricorn. So Mars, the warrior, into the analytical mind of Capricorn, right? The planner. So what does that look to you? What do you think about that? Like, I think about the commanders sitting at their desks, with all of their plans in front of them, with computers going all across the room just so that they could see exactly how that they're going to initiate whatever it is, that siege that they're planning, right? So it's big is the energy that I'm receiving right now, is what I'm hearing. So know that there's a lot more going on behind the scenes in terms of war, in terms of major conflict. I'm not here to scare you, all right? I'm scared myself, like the life is life is life. But I think it's something that we need to put on the table. But that being said, do you want to add anything to those two particular, the ingress and the direct, before we move into the transit?
Of course. So for the direct, Mercury going direct, what did we learn during these 2, 3 weeks? It's important to reflect back on that as we're in this new year. See what has come up, what has helped you, what are some of the things that were patterns that you notice in communication that now, as Mercury is direct, you can work on and implement and apply? Because when we're in Mercury retrograde, we're going into these phases of lessons. And that's just my perspective on when Mercury is in that kind of movement in the sky. Now, with Mars going into the sign of Capricorn, it's like we have already planted seeds and now we can take action. We can take the steps. Mars, the warrior, wants to just go, 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 go fast, the Aries energy, and it's cardinal, right? So these are cardinal energies, but you have to do it in a way that is pragmatic, that makes sense to you at this very moment. So work with this energy to put out the things that you want in the bigger picture with force, both Mars being ruled by Aries, which is cardinal, and then in a cardinal sign is really pushing us to a new direction in our actions and in our bigger picture and plans during this new year.
Great, thank you. So our first transit that we're going to talk about is Sun in Capricorn squares Chiron in Aries, and that's from 1/5 to 1/7. So again, Capricorn is the planner. Capricorn analyzes. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, which says, take your sweet time. Like, there's no rushing this. There's no rushing this. The spotlight is on that, and it's squaring, which can be a challenge, right? We already know squares are challenges. Chiron and Aries. And Chiron is, what is that wound? What is that thing that needs to be healed up inside of you? And Aries is like that cardinal, as Shayla was just saying, it's like it's right out there, right? It's like big, it's like large. But with Capricorn, we can really like let them sit across from each other and say, okay, how can we take care of this? How can we take care of this so that it's not so large? And I'm thinking, I work in mental health, so I'm thinking this inner wound that I have that never, ever, ever seems to dissipate, that never seems to go away, although it does, because each time we doing, we engage in a healing modality, they do heal to a certain extent, but sometimes we have memories, right? We remember the pains and we feel like we're back there again. But Sun in Capricorn, which is, very grounded, Capricorn is an earth sign. So you have earth and you have fire, right? Aries is fire, Capricorn is earth. And we're given the opportunity right now to say, okay, like, how am I going to handle this? I'm going to make it so big. I'm not going to let it overtake me anymore. It's like I come to a point in my life where I can sit down and I can address it because it is a memory. It isn't occurring anymore, although it feels like it's occurring again. Use this square from the 5th to the 7th as an opportunity to sit down and make a plan. How are you going to address this? What is your plan for that? We have a new year coming. We have a new year, new us, and new you. And how do you plan to create change in your life so that you're not walking around holding on to the same pains as you did in 2023 and 2022 and so on. That's what I have.
Mm. Yeah, to piggyback on what T is saying, I got a image of us, if we can just imagine having hands around our bodies and just like allowing the grip that we've been holding on to past wounds to kind of loosen up so we can drop and release those old wounds. And that's the best way to kind of fight through this transit here, fighting through it in a way that's about not external so much, but this is about you deciding, hey, I'm going to loosen up the grip here. I'm going to let go. I'm going to release the things that are here that are holding me back. I'm also getting bolder. For some of us, we're putting boulders of water so we don't feel the emotion. And this trans is going to highlight the emotion. So we have to kind of deal with it in a way that we can know that these past wounds are not what defines who we are now. There are things that we can work through, right? By releasing it, letting go of the grip, letting go of and surrendering forgiveness, right? And reflecting on those things. So there can be an aspect of soul evolution here because we're talking about the sun in square in a fight with Chiron. So knowing that, and I'm also getting this energy of finding out how we heal best, learning that part. And I feel the sun in Capricorn can help us with that in a very pragmatic and real way that feels connected to the experience of the self and the one.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely to everything that you just said. And it brings us right into the next that we were going to discuss, which is Sun in Capricorn again, which trines Uranus in Taurus. And Uranus is retrograde. This has been going on for a while now, and it will continue for a while. A trine will give you something good. It brings a good opportunity, but you have to work at it. And again, it's the same thing, like Uranus and Taurus. No one wants their spot busted up, basically, right? This is like my home. Do not, trees coming down on my property did not make me happy this summer. It's that same kind of energy, right? But with planning, it's like, how can we best manage what's going on with these disturbances, with these surprises, with these things that just like take us like unaware, right? It's like, oh, I didn't see that coming. But if we have our own already developed or developing strategies to manage the crazy, right? So if I meditate every morning and I pray every morning, which I do before I start the day, when I walk outside the door, it's not going to be that bad. right? I was telling Shay that this morning, and this, I walked out of the house, I was walking my dogs, and we have a little greenhouse next to the house, and a bird was stuck in there, and he was like flapping his wings, and it was like, to me, that's like the thunderbolts, right? That's like the unexpected, and I opened it up, let him out. He was free. He was good. He was fine. He went to, go with his other little birds. I have no idea how long he was in there. But the thing is that, I got frazzled, but not as frazzled as I usually would be if I wasn't meditating, if I didn't have my patterns of living, right? Which is Sun in Capricorn. What are your patterns? What do you do on the daily in a grounded sort of way to help you when the crazy comes in? So that's what I'm going to say about that.
That's
Yes, Shayla, your
beautiful. And
turn.
talking about nature, a symbol of a tree is coming in, but these two signs are earth element here. So a big trunk, old trunk tree with these roots going all the way down to earth, to Mother Earth. For us to imagine being that when things feel erratic, feel sporadic, it can't shake us because we're so rooted. We're rooted within. And I'm getting some of us can be, there's some aspect of learning here, learning how to work with standing in that grounded, protective energy, but it's not out of fear. It's more of like, I can do this. These changes are okay. I can deal with these changes the best way possible. Some of us might be learning how to garden, how to take care and tend to the garden. And this can be symbolic, not only in real life, of us tending to the self and what's around in our roots, what's around the trunk of the tree, what's around the top of the tree, so we can feel grounded. And it's almost like if you think of a storm, when the trees are swaying, they're still rooted. So for us, no matter what is coming in the air, we're able to, whether it's ideas, people, changes, things, we're able to stay within that middle ground. And this alludes to what T was mentioning of patterns and routine to keep us grounded. So we can maybe pick one thing during this transit to help us ground, and that's personal to everyone, then you're able to be like, when the storm comes in, I know exactly how to take care of this. And with a trine, it just flows, it just kind of goes. And expect new opportunity, challenges, things that can help us grow in this time.
So the next one is Mercury in Sagittarius squares Neptune in Pisces. That can be a problem. That's from 7th of January to the 9th of January, right? Mercury in Sagittarius wants to blah, 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 talk, 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 get those ideas out there. Let's move it. Let's go. Come on. Yeah, I know this is going to be a great idea. Let's go this way, guys. Like, oh, wait a second. Because then it squares Neptune and Pisces. Neptune in Pisces is more, like under the sea is the only way that I can describe that. It's like when you're in your reverie, when you're in your mystical self, when you're thinking about nothing much, but a lot is going on inside. So they're squaring each other. So they need to give each other some room here. Like my idea is that, if I'm feeling like I need to go, 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 I need to remember that Neptune is in Pisces right now and to honor that. Like, what is the growth that needs to happen during this transit?
Mm.
Like, even though my mind, Mercury, is like, come on, we got to move it. You've got this. Let's go. I'm on fire. Neptune and Pisces is saying, not so fast. Like, did you see this pretty shell or this pretty rock that I found in the lake the other day? It's just so beautiful. Let's look at this. So, how can you be in the middle again? Honor both sides of yourself, I guess, is the message that I'm getting right now. To honor the both sides of yourself, give yourself time for both. When, it's like the paradoxes of life, right? Like we can't control them, but we can manage how we manage ourselves and our reactions during this period of time.
Very beautiful, and always stay within that core. That core is so valuable. T, you had mentioned something in the beginning of the podcast. Things are in the background, things are being done behind the scenes. And for us to be more attentive during this time of messages that we're receiving, communications, or things that we're receiving, not to fall into the trap of believing everything you hear, everything you read, especially I don't like to talk about the news, but the news or anywhere we get new information from, to be mindful. On a personal level, this can be to be outward about what it is that we need to say rather than for it to be kind of obscure or hidden. Because with Mercury here, square in Neptune, it could be a lot of gray area, obscurity, hidden messages, hidden intentions. So being clear about your intentions from the start, being mindful of what intentions come in from the external world into your world, right? So for instance, someone texts you, what are their intentions? Not everyone has a bad intention. That's not what I'm saying. It's what is at the bottom of it. Also, some people, for us collectively, we might get messages that are like from the past or things that we need to deal with at this moment that has to do with things we have to take care of. And just being able to do that in a way that's balanced, that is, I guess, in the core. Like I had mentioned, that tree trunk, if we can just keep that in our visual mind, will help us. And just knowledge too. I would say with transit, another way to kind of work through it is to listen to good music that has to do with spirituality or has to do with something that you want to learn or something you're interested, to kind of keep you anchored, to keep you rooted at this moment.
That's great. Yeah. As you were talking, you're talking about that, know what other people's intentions are. I'm thinking to myself that you may be the one on fire, ready to like move, 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 and yet you're sitting across from someone who's really like Neptunian and Pisces, right? And they're just not there. They're just not where you are. Neither one is good, neither one is bad. It just is. So this is, like as you give yourself a place within to be who you are and to acknowledge the paradoxes within yourself, allow others to be in their space too. So thank you for that. That's like really great. Yeah, like I can take care of my tree. I don't have to take care of your tree, but I can honor your tree. And I don't have to throw litter in front of your tree. I don't have to, hang on the branches of your tree when your branches are brittle. It's just like, how can I take care of my tree, but also honor your tree? So I loved what you had to say there.
I love what you have to say. That's great.
All right. Then the last one that we'll be talking about is Mars in Capricorn, sextiling Saturn in Pisces. And that's from the 7th through the 9th. So again, this picture of Mars in Capricorn, who is a warrior, who's on fire, who is has planned strategies, is ready to go, 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 and is like, I can tell you what to do because I'm the commander here. It's sextile Saturn and Pisces. Again, I'm getting the thought. It's like, how can I work this? This is okay to not go so fast. Saturn is here for a reason. Saturn is telling me, whoa, slow down. It's okay. You don't have to go this fast. Um, Look, enjoy. What is the spirit of what is going on here? Not so much as it's kind of like the letter of the law and the spirit of the law, right? It's like, okay, so like how can we honor this here? Mm, it's Pisces, right? And Saturn is sitting in there right now. So Saturn is like saying, okay, let's just kind of, I don't know, I get the vision of someone sitting underneath the sea in a picnic chair. It's just like watching it happen, letting it go by. Let's see what the blips on the screen are gonna tell us? What is the intel that's coming, which is important to Mars in Capricorn? What is the intel, right? And how am I going to activate myself? And what is my last thought about this with Mars in Capricorn? Again, it's allowing them to work together, knowing that we're put on pause for a reason, a higher reason. Sometimes we never know what that reason is, but sometimes we do. Could be years later we find out, oh, wait a minute, that's why I was not meant to go there today. We all have those episodes of like, yeah, I tried to get to so and so when I couldn't get there, and I was like knocking the door down, I couldn't get in, and then we find out why later, that that wasn't meant for us at the time. So it can actually be a good thing. So that's what I have for that. Shayla.
That's beautiful. Saturn is really speaking here of, and I want to emphasize Saturn in Pisces specifically because Saturn in Pisces, not to get too much in the language of astrology, but it's about spiritual commitment. And what came through in that spiritual commitment is what wish or dream, because Pisces is the dreamer, the creative. What wish, what dream, or what creativity or creation do you have in mind that you've been wanting to put forth? And when do you feel this a window of opportunity for that to happen? And Mars and Capricorn, if you work with those two, you can make it happen through sitting down and planning, sitting down and learning more about it. Okay. I'm getting for some of us, we want to rush into a spiritual path, and that's not going to work out. You have to commit, you have to learn, you have to start from level 1 and make your way up the mountain like a mountain goat. Walk up, step by step. But for some have been in that journey for a while, what is that big wish, that dream and creation that you want to bring into the world? And Saturn is going to listen into that wish. You can even write out in a little piece of paper your wish. And I would say that day, put it into a place or put it in your altar, or if you have like a space that you feel that is sacred for this wish to stand on, let there be space for it. It's gonna move and catapult this wish out into the universe. I know this is very Neptunian of me to say, but this is what it came up, the flavor for this transit.
That's lovely. Lovely.
Thank you. All right, everyone. So remember to check out our Patreon for exclusive content there. We have a lot of case studies and exclusive content. On Fridays, like usual, I will have the Rose Clinic open, so you can reach out. The information will be linked down below in the description box. And T, if you'd like to share what's coming up for you this week, let us know.
Yeah, for me, so what's coming up this week for me? I'm open for readings, love to do consultations. Go on my website, it's there in the corner, my name, teresavarela.com. And I'm actually doing a little bit more writing right now, which is a little bit behind the scenes. But again, that's, like you have to do your work behind the scenes. That's where Saturn comes in order to let, Jupiter go flying high, right? We have to honor both. So that's where I am right now, but I'm definitely open for readings. So reach out anyone who might be interested.
Beautiful. Thank you everyone for watching Sabor Astrology, and con mucho, mucho sabor. We'll see you next week. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Sabor Astrology with T and Shay. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.